Bro, I tried to tell y'all, I really did, but a lot of you didn't want to hear it. I saw the comments, I saw the DMs. MMA fiction is just MMA fiction. You know, he's just hating on JD. I'm like, bro, calm down. I'm literally just breaking this fight down. And let's be real, yes, Islam was the favorite. Everyone, was picking him when it came to the betting odds. But when it came MMA on YouTube or on Reddit or on TikTok, people were acting like JDM was gonna walk Islam down and like baptize him and shit. Folks were calling him the guy to beat Islam. Like, let's be serious for 5 minutes, okay? And yeah, looking back, I get why people were hyping it up. JDM always finds a way to get back up in his fights. He gets taken down, he stands back up, he's a dog, he's fun. But here's the reality check nobody wanted to accept. Islam is that damn good, okay? He's the best fighter in the UFC. I hate to say it, but it's true. We kept, looking for the cracks and the armors because we saw the Dustin fight, the Volk fight. We saw moments where Islam looked human. But go rewatch those fights again, okay? Because Islam still won majority of those rounds. And I get it. We wanted to believe JDM had the dust in boxing with the better grappling defense. It turns out that wasn't the case at all. Not even close. And I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for JDM. I love the storyline. I love the underdog energy. I was literally sitting there in round one shaking, like, come on, bro, do something. Prove me wrong. I want to see that upset so bad. But, I wanted that moment where the whole MMA world just gasped at once. But nah, we didn't get that. Instead, we got Islam walking into 170 like he owns the D to the division. He didn't even look stressed. My guy showed up like, yeah, I'll just grab that second belt real quick and just head home. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, I was a bit disappointed. I knew Islam was gonna win, but I was just hoping I was wrong. And when I say he got dominated, I don't mean he just got out-grappled. Islam outstruck him, and that's the part nobody really expected too much. He chopped the legs, he won the jab, he beat JDM to the angle changes, and whenever he wanted the takedown, he just got it. It was one thing to out-wrestle Jack. We all kind of knew that was probably gonna come. But to make him uncomfortable on the feet, to make a striker look like he didn't even want to engage, that's when you realize Islam is just a complete fighter. But bro, let's just stop dancing around it and actually get into this fight, all right? Let's talk about it round by round, breakdown, because round one told the whole story. The moment the fight started, JDM does what JDM always does. He tries to march forward, apply pressure, set the tone, but Islam immediately showed how smart he is as a fighter. He didn't panic. He didn't back up. He didn't even overreact. He just started touching the front leg like he was turning on a lawnmower. Low calf kicks, inside kicks, little cheapy shots. Nothing crazy, but they were landing clean. And you could tell instantly that JDM's stance with that wild front foot was giving Islam a giant billboard target. And bro, let me tell you this. This is the first time in JDM's entire UFC run where someone actually targeted that leg with real intent. Islam wasn't just throwing kicks just to score points. He was chopping that thing like he wanted to tenderize the meat, You can see JDM's balance shifting. You can see him have to reset more than usual. And you can see those tiny moments of, oh, this guy's different. That's when I knew Islam came in with a real game plan and not just to wrestle one. And then the takedowns come, man. And let me just tell you this, man. It was just too easy. Islam didn't need 3 setups. He didn't need a chain or fence. He just timed the entry perfectly, hit the angle, and dragged JDM straight into half guard. And this is where reality really hit me. JDM was stuck. And I mean stuck in a way he hasn't been stuck before. Yeah, we've seen him get taken down in past fights, but he always manages to get back up quickly and scramble. He rolls, builds a base, but against Islam, his hips weren't wide open, his frames weren't strong, and every attempt to move just made him lose more balance. You can actually see the moment JDM's body language changes. He tries to scramble, and for a second, he even gave up his back, hoping he could slip out. But Islam stayed calm, stayed sticky, stayed like glue. He didn't let JDM have 1 second of breathing room. Every inch JDM tried to move, Islam tightened somewhere else, And when a guy like JDM, who's used to escaping, suddenly realized, oh, I'm not going anywhere, that really had to hit him hard. You just know that confidence was taken away early. But once we got into round 2, this is where the little bit of the hope JDM fans absolutely got ripped away from, okay? Because he actually landed his best punches of the entire fight in this early round. That short right hook inside, and for a split second, I was like, okay, maybe we can cook with something here. But Islam ate that shit like it was just a protein sample at Costco. Didn't even blink, didn't step back, didn't even care. And right after that, Islam goes right back to the calf and inside leg kicks. And then the takedown comes. Clean as ever, Islam clinches right after the punch, walks JDM to the fence, and gets the easiest takedown you see in a championship fight. I'm not even joking. It looked like a drill. It looked like Islam was working with a sparring dummy who wasn't resisting. JDM tries to widen his base, but the leg is compromised, so he can't plant like he normally does. Islam keeps the posture tight, keeps his head in the right place, and drags him down like it's a routine. And that's when you start realizing, oh, this isn't JDM versus Bilal. This is JDM versus a completely different species of a grappler. Once it hit the ground, Islam slides right into top control. Half guard, right in position, whatever you want it. And JDM tried to scramble again. He really does. But every movement just made the situation worse, in my opinion. He gave up his back briefly, gets flattened, tries to post on one hand, gets stuck. Islam kept shutting him down. Especially his hips, his frames, his attempts to rotate out. And again, it's not even big damage. It's denial. It's Islam saying, you're not doing this shit this round. And this is where you see the key difference between Islam and every other guy JDM has fought. In every other fight, JDM gets up quickly, pops right back up, gets back into the boxing range, forces the fight to reset. But here, his legs are helpless, his underhooks aren't sticking, his fence escapes aren't working, he's giving up his back without getting anything back, he's moving slower. You can see some frustration settling in. By the end of round 2, I was like, bro, this is done. Round 1 already told me the direction, but round 2 told me the degree. This wasn't going to be competitive at all. JDM hasn't stopped a single takedown yet. He couldn't get his flow. He couldn't even keep Islam off his rhythm. And yeah, I know some people are going to cope and be like, he just had an injury or make some other excuse. This is how good Islam is. He made a champion look like a guy who just got called in 4-day notice, okay? By the time round 3 rolled around, you can see it clear as day. The leg is gone. Like, the thing is on airplane mode, bro. JDM's calf is red, it's swollen, it's stiff. It's basically a prop at this point. His stance switch narrowed up. He's not bouncing. He's not shifting weights. He's not threatening angles anymore. And the worst part, his ability to throw combinations with balance is basically non-existent now, Every time he tried to step in, that compromised leg betrayed him. His entries are hesitant. His timing is off, and he's scared to plant because the legs are just not holding up. And yeah, JDM still tries to fire off a little combination here and there, but nothing's landing clean. Islam is beating him to the jab multiple times, looking like a prime Aldo with those perfect time straight shots. And every time JDM tried to pressure forward, the one thing that he's known for, Islam pops him with the straight and resets him like it's nothing. Even though I wanted the upset for the fun of it, I wasn't delusional. Islam was just too locked in. His striking looked the cleanest it's ever been. Relaxed, confident, smooth. Meanwhile, JDM's power wasn't showing at all because he couldn't rotate his hips or plant that front foot. Then we get that moment where it really sealed it, JDM tries to force a moment by coming forward aggressively, and Islam times another perfect takedown. Cleaner than the last two. Zero resistance. It generally looked like JDM's hips and reactions were just a full beat behind. Islam dragged him down near the fence, slid into top control like he was warming up for a grappling class, and you can just feel the air getting sucked out of this fight. And the top control got a little bit more nastier in this round. Islam started landing more ground and pound, elbows, short punches, nothing crazy, nothing too efficient. JDM tries to posture up on the cage, but his legs don't give him the drive that he normally has. Every time he moves, Islam just floats with him and shuts it down. Every scramble, JDM attempts to put him in a worse position. Islam either sits heavy in half guard or shifts into a secure ride along the back or hips like a dude who's been doing this his entire life because he has. And honestly, this is the round where you can see the mental break. JDM looked miserable. He's breathing heavier, he's reacting slow, and when the corner tries to hype him up, he just shakes his head. You could tell he's thinking, bro, this sucks. Nothing's working. By the end of round 3, the fight wasn't competitive at all. It became, how long can JDM survive at this point? And by round 4, bro, you can feel the desperation coming out of JDM's corner. They were doing everything they could to hype him up. Let your hands go. Hurt him. Get busy. Fight back. But JDM's response were basically, yeah, in a very defeat tone. Like, bro, you got to go in there and try. You can see it all over his face. He wasn't just tired. He was mentally drained. The dude spark that he usually has, it was gone, reduced to atoms. And physically, man, the movement was completely compromised by this point. That damaged leg was affecting everything. His stance was stiff and rickety. His steps were delayed. He couldn't push off to circle out. He couldn't even enter with power. His footwork was basically turned into a slow, straight line step. No bounce, no rhythm, no angles. The thing that makes JDM so good normally, that forward pressure with the clean entries, vanished. He was a shell of himself at this point. Meanwhile, Islam starts round 4 like he's just warming up. He walks forward confidently, mixing jabs, feints, level change, giving JDM's different looks every few seconds. He pressed him towards the cage without even having to cut a big angle. JDM isn't stopping him. He's not scaring him. And then JDM, out of pure frustration, tries to step forward and tries to force something, and Islam times again another takedown instantly. No struggle, no battle, no resistance. Seriously, this might have been the most easiest takedown of the entire fight. Once they hit the ground, that's where Islam really shined. This was probably the best grappling round of that fight. Again, he dominates, top position, riding the hips, sliding to half guard, flirting with back control, wherever he wanted. JDM is stuck the entire round, drowning, under pressure. Islam's even threatening the body triangle at times and lands meaningful ground and pound, all of it clean. It was effective. And JDM, bro, he looked more frustrated and discouraged than ever. There was no more, I'm going to try to get up. It turned into, I'm just going to try to survive. No big escape attempt, no flurries, no threats. Just a man dealing with a fight that he knew he couldn't win anymore. Bro, by round 5, I'm not even going to lie. I was just sitting there like, dude, just stop the fight already. JDM looks mentally cooked. You could see it before the round even started. He walked out of his corner slow as hell, shoulders slumped, breathing heavy, eyes down. That wasn't the walk of a guy who was going to make a comeback. That was a walk of a man who knew that he was about to suffer for 5 more minutes. And remember, when I said earlier, the legs were gone, completely done. JDM couldn't plant, he couldn't pivot, he couldn't do anything. And Islam, man, Islam started the round looking like he was clocked in for another easy shift. Calm, confident, composed, like he knew exactly where the story was going to end. And I swear to you, within the first 30 or 45 seconds, Islam shoots another takedown and lands it with ease, not effort. Ease, okay? JDM barely even reacted. His hips didn't even sprawl. His legs didn't fight it. His posture didn't drop. It was like his body said, yeah, bro, we're done. And that's the moment everyone knew watching. Like, okay, there's not going to be no Rocky moment, no anime turnaround moment. It was just survival mode. From there, it was just the same thing, top control, dominance, Islam riding him for basically the whole round, switching between half guard, riding the hips, wrist control, whatever he wanted. JDM tries tiny moments, little adjustments, but nothing significant. There was no real escape attempt, no scrambles, no explosive moments. He's just stuck under a man who was not letting him breathe. And even though Islam wasn't dropping vicious ground and pound, he was suffocating him with pressure, and it was just the same thing. Islam did threaten submissions here and trapped him in the Kimura grip, body triangle setup, and arm traps, but JDM actually defended him all well. But it didn't even matter because defending it doesn't mean much if he can't do anything. There was zero offense left in him, no punching room, no space to stand, no energy to create chaos. He was just trying to survive. And when the final horn sounded, man, it was sad. JDM got up slow, looked defeated, and Islam looked like he could have went for like 5 more rounds. But yeah, Islam is the welterweight champion. Whether you want to call him a double champion or not because he vacated the lightweight belt, it doesn't matter. The guy just pulled off a 2-division accomplishment that almost nobody in MMA can dream of, between 155 and 170. And what's crazy is his aura somehow got even stronger. Like, Islam was already seen as a problem at 155. Now he looks like an even bigger problem at 170. He might actually be more scarier with the extra size and less weight cut. And yeah, maybe this fight wasn't the most entertaining, I'll be honest, but you have to be impressed somehow. You don't dominate a champion like that unless you're on a different level. And honestly, I'm excited now. I want to see Islam against the 170 monsters. I want to see him against the Shavkas, the Usmans, the Moraleses, because he just walked into the division and like it was his neighborhood that he already owned. But we got to talk about JDM too. He's a good fighter. He's legit, but he's definitely got exposed in some areas that people have pointed out for a while. That lead leg in his stance, it's a massive target. Open season, and he didn't check a single leg kick all night. Not one. I generally don't think he knows how to or if he ever trained to. And that's what worries me. I think there's going to be some future matchups at welterweight that could give him like some problems. Like a guy like Ian Gary, for an example, and other people. And this is the wild part. The narrative has completely flipped. A lot of fans hyped up JDM as this unstoppable fighter, with the survival instincts, the comeback. And he is good. He did get far. I mean, he became the champion. But this fight showed that he needs to fix the fundamental defense before he touches a guy like Islam again. His grappling awareness, his takedown reaction, his leg kick defense, his ability to adapt mid-fight, all of it needs work. If I'm JDM, I'm taking this as a reality check, going back to the lab and trying to fix those holes. But yeah, man, congrats to Islam Makhachev being the 170 champ. It was a boring ass main event, but it was still history in the making. I can't wait to see Islam come back. Like I mentioned earlier, same thing with JDM. Hopefully he gets better. But honestly, the card was really good. The main event and co-main event, not really the greatest fights, but overall, it was a great ass card. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you on my next one.